Hello, 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 Libra. This is Adrian. I go Capricorntigress of Astrology. I look inside and I have my party hat on. Happy New Year's to everyone. Happy 2019. I'm doing this on New Year's Eve because, well, to be honest with you, I am a huge procrastinator and I'm honest about it. I have a Taurus moon in the fourth house. And I'm not Netflixing or anything. I'm just not doing what I'm supposed to do. Anyway, for some reason, I could not get yours done. I had got a few done the other day, but I could not get to Libra. And I thought about it. I went and I checked. I saw that, the sun is on my sun right now. It's within 5 degrees of it. And Mercury is at 5 degrees of Scorpio right now. And I have Mercury at 3 degrees of Aquarius in my first house. It just wasn't feeling it. I needed it to go, maybe a few degrees away from that because it was at about 3 degrees. And I think I just needed to be clear when I did this reading for you, Libra. It's so weird. I think this is going to be an important. Please bear with me. By the way, I've got new mascara, and I can't stand it. It clumps, and it said it wasn't going to clump. Anyway, you guys have a lot going on, and the reason for that is because of what's going on with the North Node. You have the North Node in Cancer up in the 10th house, and you guys being Libra, it just means that of course, some Libras are going to be affected by the bending. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people just look at the North Node. I mean, they don't stop and think that when the North Node is at 27 degrees of Cancer, it's also affecting and has an equal meaning at 27 degrees of Capricorn, which would be the South Node. But then there's the North Node bending and the South Node bending, which many people forget because of the ecliptical. So that would be, say, in this case, 27 degrees of Libra and 27 degrees of Aries or thereabout. So those areas are also being affected in your chart when the North Node is in Cancer, especially since it's sitting on a solar angle, which is your solar 10th house. And by the way, you guys, I don't even know why I'm awake. It is now 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't do it this reading before 2, and then I didn't want to do it exactly at the witching hour, which is 3. But for some reason, I couldn't do it until the witching hour. I don't know why. It was one of those weird things. So just bear with me as my mind tries to get this, and I just feel like there's something in my eye and I can't get it out, and I'm just irritated by that. So, so much weird stuff. So weird that I'm messing with Venus stuff, which is my eyes. So anyway. But let's talk a little bit about that. This is really irritating me. I am so sorry, you guys. Wow. Wait a minute. Wow. Oh, this is irritating. What is going on? Okay, I think I had a piece of hair in my eye, maybe. Okay. Oh, it's like I feel like there's something in my eye. Okay. Okay. I think we got it. Oh my God, I got my lipstick over here. This is what happens when you decide you're going to record at 4:17 a.m. when your behind should have been asleep hours ago, but you just could not do this one last reading. And that is where I am now with you Libras. And you know, it's funny. The reason why I started talking about the North Node and then I got distracted was because when I look at your chart, really the only main thing up there, if you don't look at, what I wrote here about the full moon here, but really the only thing sitting up at the top of the chart is this North Node. That's it, really. I mean, the seventh house is technically above the horizon, I guess. The only thing up there really is the North Node. I mean, it has full reign at the top of your chart. And it's the top of your chart. So, wow. That's really something that we need to, we can't ignore that. It's serious. And what makes it really serious is because there's a quite a large stellium. Here we go again to show you this here, all that Capricorn down in the fourth house. That tells me that your home life may be affected and your family may be affected in some way. It could affect anything that has to do with feminine issues, really like the mothering and nurturing and caring for your home and your family, and your security and your comfort, and things that would affect your security and your comfort. Also, there could be some type of weird opposition between your home and your security and comfort versus your career and your career life or something of that nature. Oh, hold on. I just realized I have something on. Let me cut that off. There we go. Hopefully, I hope you guys could hear me. I didn't even realize that was going. So sorry, you guys. Anyway, so, in the month of January, really the emphasis is going to be on Capricorn. And there's a great deal of activity going on in the Capricorn area in your chart, which is the solar fourth house of your chart. And there's going to be a new moon conjoined the sun in Capricorn at about 15 degrees. And that will be on the 5th of January, which is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And there will be also a partial solar eclipse there at that same spot. Vega is also going to be there, which is the fixed planet. That's at 15 degrees and 33 seconds. This is all happening on the 5th of January. And that is going to be the first new moon of the year. It's kind of setting the theme for all of 2019. It's gonna, it's just a big, beautiful new moon. And I feel like a lot of people, myself included, are expecting a brand new change. I'm not saying I'm going to be a brand new me. Oh, hell yes, I am. I'm going to be a much better me. And I think it's going to affect you Libras too, because you have to realize that all of this emphasis that's going on with the North Node in Cancer and all of this emphasis going on during the month in Capricorn, well, this is all going to make some stressful angles to you guys during the month. You're going to be getting possibly some squares, some of you, to the North Node, and many of you are going to get squares with all of these planets, the sun, the moon, Mercury, Vega, Pluto, Saturn. I mean, it's a lot going on in Capricorn. And so it's very possible that many of you Libras are going to get some really direct hits, and they're not going to be positive direct hits because these are squares. These are not trines. These are not sextiles. These are squares. And these are squares on the angle houses. Cancer up in the 10th house, Capricorn down in the 5th house. You got Mars and Uranus over in the 7th house. And there you are, poor Libra, screaming, help me, help me. Because it's just ridiculous what's going to be going on. So, yeah, wow. Just a lot of emphasis in that 4th in your family. With Pluto there and Saturn there and the sun there and the moon there and the new moon there and the partial solar eclipse there, please be aware of like power plays in your home. I could see kids who are jealous of each other. I could just see jealousies in general going on inside of the home with Pluto there. If there's more than one person in a home, that can be a problem. I could just see a lot of people in the home in general. I mean, we're talking about what, 5 planets, or well, 2 luminaries and 3 planets in a fixed star sitting in the 4th house during January. And so, and all of that's, you know, pinging off the 10th house. You know, a lot of that emphasis in the month is going to be off of, I believe, your security issues or home life versus nurturing and issues and things like that in your career, getting those two worked out. If you're a young parent or you know, a mother of children, you might find that this becomes an issue with your work life versus your home life, where you've got to maybe even fight to spend time taking care of your children, maybe caring for them when they're ill. It is flu season. And I can see where this might even continue as far as the emphasis on children after the 21st of January, when the sun goes into Aquarius, which is your solar 5th house of children. Now, the 5th house can rule other things. It can rule romance and dating and taking chances and playing the lotto, and actually entrepreneurship is indicated there. And it's a fairly lucky house, so that's a good thing. And the other thing is, once the sun goes into Aquarius, it's going to begin forming a more positive angle toward the sun, like most likely a trine. And to many, you know, throughout that time, it's in Aquarius because it's a natural trine to Libra. So it's going to be a lot more positive than all the squares that you've had to endure with all that emphasis in Capricorn and your 4th house. And let's you know, not forget that when there's that much emphasis, like you've got Saturn, the Sun, Pluto, Mercury, you know, those are planets that when they're down under the horizon, it's telling me that the emphasis is not so much on putting all that out top. But I think you can put a lot up top. It could also indicate working at home. Saturn in the 4th house is working at home. Pluto in the 1st house is power at home. It could be danger at home. You need to be careful of that when Pluto is at in the 4th house. But yes, I believe with all of the oppositions to the 10th house, it's just really highlighting not only the 4th house, but the 10th house is being highlighted because of all of the opposition coming from the 4th. So you may feel that push in the career sector as well as issues in your home life. As I mentioned, there is going to be Mars and Uranus. Mars and Uranus in the 7th house. Oh Lord. You know, that doesn't have to be bad though. When I think about it, it doesn't have to be bad. It most likely is bad, but it doesn't have to be bad. And the only reason I'm saying that it most likely can be bad is because, well, it's squares to all that Capricorn to the 7th house. Squaring all that, that's friction and tension from your home life to your 7th house of partnerships. I mean, you know, somehow Capricorn is activating your 7th house of partnerships from your home. So yeah, that's affecting you, Libra rising and Libra moons. I wonder how that's going down. I also see a lot of talking because you got Jupiter and Venus. You've been talking a lot of love talk going on. Lots of love, communicating, flirtations, even lots of fun talk, happy talk. You've got Jupiter and Venus in the solar third house in Sag. That's sextile, you Libras. It's happy and it's communicating. And it's communicating happiness and good times. And I think once the sun goes into Aquarius on the 21st, that's going to sextile that Sag. And that's just going to really make all that Jupiter and Venus even more happy. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. Now, the Jupiter and Venus does kind of make a square. I think Jupiter in particular makes an angle to that Neptune and Pisces in the sixth house. There could be some form of confusion or delusion in the work that you do, or in the workplace that you work at, or maybe an order that's lost. I just don't want you to get too emotional with the North Node up in Cancer, up in the 10th house. I can see like someone getting emotional over something that was job related. And I don't want you to get too upset over that, because I don't want you to mess with your health. And I could see where that could be a problem with you, with Neptune there in the sixth house. Just make sure you take care of your little self, take care of your health. The other thing I want to mention is that, although I've mentioned it several times now, that on the 21st, the sun goes into Aquarius, I want to mention that on that same day, on the opposite side of the chart, there's going to be a full moon in Leo, and it's a full lunar eclipse. It's happening in the 11th house of friends, hopes, dreams, wishes, organizations, groups and clubs that you would belong to. The great thing is, even though it's a full moon in Leo, it's going to be opposing its own sign, because the 11th house is the natural house of Aquarius, and well, the 5th house is the natural house of Leo. So it's almost like these signs flip-flop, that houses. It's going to be very interesting. Now, the good thing is that the 5th house is romance and the 11th house is friends. And so I feel like, even though the moon might be in the 11th and it's in Leo, and the sun might be in Aquarius and it's in the 5th house, and I still feel like there might be some love between you and friends that day. Libra rising, Libra moon. Yeah. You might feel that. I was just wondering if you would feel cold in the area of love that day and just feel more like being friends. I don't know if that's really what it is, but it should be a very interesting experience, to say the least. So really, as I look at, like I said, I mentioned earlier, most of the emphasis for you guys is all down low in the horizon. It's really kind of over toward that third quadrant, really, or no, excuse me, the second quadrant, like fourth, fifth, sixth, but really it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so those are really where all the emphasis. Houses 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is communications, family, romance, love, children, health, and work, and your partnerships. That's where all your focus is going to be. The only outlet you have is that Cancer North Node, which sitting up in the top of your chart in Cancer and in the 10th house, all alone up there, actually, and being opposed by quite a number of Capricorn things. So I don't know if, how that's going to work out for you in the month of January as far as your career ambitions. I do know that, or I feel that with Neptune in the sixth house, that's highly creative work, creativity at work, singers, actors, dancers, musicians. I just can see you being highly creative at work. And then the North Node in the 10th house does give the ability to appeal to the masses and appeal, to women in general, but overall just to the masses. I think that's very good uh, for anyone who's in a creative field. And Mars and Uranus in the seventh house are a little frightening, and they can be very daunting, especially to someone who might be a little afraid of all of that fire and passion and desire that you have at this time. Just know that Mars in the seventh house is a quicker transit than the Uranus. And Uranus is actually going to be, because it's retrograde into your seventh, and it's actually going to be going out of retrograde and going back into Taurus as of April. So you just have to endure the craziness of Uranus in your seventh house. You might feel like none of your relationships have gone exactly the way you expected them to. You might plan one thing and then something else happens, or the person you thought was going to be the one turns out not to be the one. Or crazy partners from the past might show up and demand your attention and interrupt or interfere with your current relationship. Just be aware that there could be some disruptions and strange things happening in the area of partnerships because of Uranus being there. And with the sun going into Aquarius in the, on the 21st, that's basically like having Uranus in the fifth house of love. It's it's a very strange month when it comes to love and partnerships. So I really want you to be aware of that. It seems like it's sudden and out of the blue. I could see Libras declaring their love suddenly and saying, that's it. This is the one. That's who I want. So yeah, it's amazing. There's quite a lot of emphasis between romance and love and partnerships. Now, this could very well take place with entrepreneurial ventures, like starting your own business or your own companies or something, and dealing with being aggressive and getting partnerships, reaching out to other people. With Jupiter in the third house, that's communication. Somebody is going to be able to communicate and schmooze very well in the area, like say advertising or sales or promotions, because Cancer rules that. And then we've got Mars and Uranus in the seventh, just really reaching out for partnerships and business, and Neptune in Pisces able to sell the dream. This is a really creative situation going on here. And even though a lot of that Capricorn is down in the fourth house, I think that's actually good with the Cancer North Node up in the 10th, because you are ambitious. It's down in the fourth where no one can really see it, but you're ambitious and you know that. So when you go out into the public world, you're able to express the ambition that no one else can see. And the thing about having that many planets in the fourth house is that eventually they're going to hit the fifth house. That means they may be low in the horizon now, but once they hit the fifth house, they're considered on their rise. And anything on its rise means it's gaining momentum. So this is almost like the darkest before the dawn. Whatever hardships you're going through right now, I'm pretty sure it's all going to start getting better from here. Now, Saturn's going to be in that fourth house for another year or so, and Pluto's going to be there for a while. But all those other planets, Mercury, the Sun, the Moon, they're going to be leaving that fourth house and go into the fifth soon. And that is an indication of you going in on your rise. And once Mercury and the Sun are out of that fourth, you're going to start feeling the difference of the emphasis, because it's going to be going into the fifth house. That's much lighter, happier. It has to do with things like children and taking chances and fun and laughter and good times and just enjoying life. It's the life force house. The fifth house is a house of Leo, and that is the life force. So the sun, time to shine. When the sun, it might not be in the sign of Leo, but it's still at home in the fifth house. And so you're going to have that desire to shine. And I hope you find ways to shine because that is one of those things that at the end of this month, it's going to be something that you really are going to start to do. And as long as you can avoid the problem or potential problems that could arise on the 21st of January with the full moon in Leo and that full lunar eclipse opposing that sun in Aquarius in the 5th house, I think your romance and your partnerships, hopefully, will be able to survive that, and you'll live to love another day. But you have been forewarned because that is a ugly opposition, and it will affect the partnerships. And let's not forget that you yourself, Libra, the sign, it is the ruler of sign, a sign that rules partnerships, right? And you've got Mars at home in Aries in the 7th house of partnerships, not where it's supposed to be. Everything is backwards and sideways in your chart. So anything really is possible. Mars should be in the 1st, but no, it's in the 7th. You know, Cancer should be in the 4th, but no, it's in the 10th. The moon should be up in the, the moon's on. But, or at least on the 5th. But I'm just saying it's going to be one of those topsy-turvy months. Just be aware of that, especially when it comes to relationships. I could see someone using all of this Capricorn emphasis in the home to work out of the home. You'll be doing some kind of work out of your home. And if you do, you're going to be successful at it, whatever it is. And I'll just give a shout out to my little Libra rising boyfriend. Honey, you're doing the right thing to do the practice in your home. Same. Very smart idea. Be very creative, especially after the 21st. Okay, Libras. I wish I had more life and spunk, and I hope you guys got something out of this. I would advise you guys to look at what I said to Capricorns. I've been telling everybody that because I talk about, what all of that emphasis in Capricorn is, and Vega and Pluto and Saturn. And so if you want to learn a little bit more, look at the Capricorn reading that I did. Of course, my mind, I'm probably going to come back and do another for everybody, I think, somewhere in the first week or so, for everyone. So if I'm rambling tonight and I missed something important, it's because I'm half asleep and it's 4:41, almost 5 in the morning. And I hope I don't have an appointment early. Well, anyway, guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And I hope you have a happy and lucky January 2019. Thank you so much for sitting in with me. Oh, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe to our channel. And, be sure to feel free to share and like and subscribe our YouTube videos. And also feel free to come by and subscribe to our website, astrologyalookinside.com. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/astrologyalookinside. And I do give free mini readings at our group, which is facebook.com/groups/astrologyalookinside. On our website, if you make a donation over $20, you can ask any question and I will answer it for you. We do have live video readings, and those, are a little bit more because you get to sit down with me and record that video and ask questions. And so I charge a little bit more for those. Okay. Anyway, you guys, this has been Capricorntigress, Adrian Igo of Astrology, a Look Inside, wishing everyone much love, much light, many blessings, and a very happy 2019. Bye, everyone.